ChowDownChou or random gaming, depending on what you're watching.
All right, so without further ado, I want to jump into the main topic of today, which is the actual card, UFC 249. That is, I think at this point, pretty much going to happen in May 9th, on May 9th. So I took the liberty of going through the card, and boy, is it stacked. It is stacked. It is completely stacked. I love every fight from top to bottom. Um, and I'm gonna go through the ones that are already being worked on. I'm gonna talk about those, and I'm gonna give you predictions after each fight that I talk about. So without further ado, let me first pull up the card. And I think you sort of have to start with the main event. We'll go from top down. Tony Ferguson versus Justin motherfucking Gaethje, the most violent man in MMA versus the weirdest guy in MMA. All right. Um, First of all, I'm sure at this point you've all seen Tony Ferguson making championship weight without there being a fight. All right. That is insane. Kevin Lee can't make weight to save his fucking life. Tony Ferguson out here making weight for no fucking reason at all. Alright? That's how weird he is. But that also shows how disciplined he is and how much dedication he's put into this and how much he wants to separate himself from the pack. And I think this doesn't really give him any advantage per se, but it does give him a mental boost to show him that none of these other clowns are willing to make way like he does. Not Habib, not Gaethje. He's the one that's got the discipline to do this. So, boss move, number one. But let's talk about the actual fight. Tony Ferguson versus Justin Gaethje. My prediction is it's going to be a fucking war. War. Go look at Justin Gaethje's past fights. Go look at the Eddie Alvarez fight. Go look at the Dustin Poirier fight. Go look at the Michael Johnson fight. It's free. Go look at it. Or even look at the Edson Barboza fight, the Donald Cerrone fight, the Michael Vick fight. All of his fights in the UFC is going to end violently. Either he's going to get knocked out or he's going to knock your ass out. All right? And if you go look at Tony Ferguson's fight, he fights in a similar style. He pushes the pace. He goes right at you. Punches, combos, elbows, knees. Look at the Anthony Pettis fight. Look at the Donald Cerrone fight. It's two styles that is just gonna clash head on. Justin Gaethje goes forward. He doesn't know how to back down. He doesn't know how to move backwards. But so does Tony fucking Ferguson. Alright? It's gonna be a fucking war. It's gonna be a fucking war. I think it's gonna be one of the best fights we've ever seen. If but to be quite frank, if I was in Tony Ferguson's corner, I wouldn't let him take the fight. I don't want to risk it because Justin Gaethje can fuck you up. Fuck you up. You're either going to be out for a long, long fucking time, or you're going to somehow get viciously knocked out, and you're not going to be able to take on Habib. And I would not risk that. You're on a 12-fight winning streak. Why would you fight Justin Gaethje? But Tony doesn't think logically. He made weight. All he's thinking about is, I'm going out and fuck some dudes up. Like he said all the time, it's a round robin tournament to him. And if he believes in himself, he can go out to beat everyone and anyone in the lightweight division. Far be it for me to try and persuade him otherwise. I think it's gonna be a fucking war. And this is what I think will happen. I think Justin Gaethje is gonna push the pace on Tony first with the leg kicks, with the big fucking haymakers thrown at his face. And I think Tony Ferguson is round one, round two, is gonna get knocked out. I think he's gonna get knocked down. I think it's gonna get wobbled. I think he's gonna get almost finished. But I think in rounds 3 and 4, when Tony and his legendary fucking cardio starts kicking in, he'll start push the pace on Justin, and it will end with Tony Ferguson taking Justin Gaethje to the ground and finishing it off there with his trademark submissions. I'm gonna go with a Darce choke by Tony Ferguson or any kind of submission at the end of round 4. And nonetheless, I think it's gonna be one of the best fights the UFC has ever seen. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for Ferguson versus Gaethje. I wouldn't do it if I was Tony Ferguson, but I'm not. I'm not. I can't cut 24 pounds in a week. I can't even cut 4 pounds a week, so I'm not Tony Ferguson. But I can't wait for this fight. Thank God for Tony Ferguson. Thank God for what he's willing to sacrifice and put on the line, because I cannot wait for that fight. And now the co-main event was originally Jessica Andrade versus Rose Namajunas. A great fight. I watched it the first time when Andrade got that unbelievably vicious slam finish against Rose Namajunas. But due to some family issues, Rose Namajunas has pulled out of that fight. So don't think that's going to happen. But reportedly, the thing that's going to step up, the second title fight of the night, is Henry Cejudo versus Dominic Cruz. And originally, Henry Cejudo is going to face Jose Aldo, which I think is a great stylistic matchup for Henry Cejudo. And a lot of people have been criticizing the company's decision to give Jose Aldo a title shot. First of all, it's in Brazil, you dumb fuck. Of course they're going to give Jose Aldo the title shot. They're not going to give Petra Yan the title shot in fucking Brazil and let the white bear go up and fuck up Cejudo. Not going to happen. And also, if you think about it from Cejudo's point of view, it's a great stylistic matchup. He's Aldo's owed. He probably can't deal with Cejudo's wrestling. And Cejudo's on this sort of path to, he crowned himself Triple C. He wanted to call himself the greatest combat athlete of all time. And what better name to put on your resume than Jose fucking Aldo, the best featherweight? Well, some say Max Holloway, but I think Jose Aldo is the best featherweight of all time. It's a great name to put on his resume. It's not that hard of a fight for him, I think. And it's in Brazil. That's win-win. You put that shit on the card in Brazil. But now Jose Aldo's out because of visa issues. And in steps Dominic Cruz, a far more dangerous opponent to Henry Cejudo than Jose Aldo. I think stylistically, Dominic Cruz is fucking awkward. And he's been out for so long, you don't know what kind of shape he's going to be in. It might just surprise you. And if, but from Cejudo's point of view, this is sort of the next best thing that you can take. You're not going to take Petr Yan. You're not going to take Aljamain Sterling. You're not going to take Sandhagen. Who else is there? Dominic Cruz. Add that name to your resume. If you're on the path to being the greatest combat athlete, you got to make all your business decisions very wisely. Why would you fight young killers? Destroy Dominic Cruz if you can. Move on. Add that name to your resume. Strengthen your claim before you eventually have to take on real contenders. Not that Dominic Cruz is not going to win. In fact, he's probably my upset pick of the night. But I think in terms of the decision, this is the next best thing for Henry Cejudo. But in terms of the actual prediction, I personally think that would be the upset of the night. Dominic Cruz coming out of nowhere with his wonky fucking footsteps and just sort of walks over Cejudo in I think it's going to be a tight fight. I don't think there's gonna be a finish. I I'm gonna go with a 48-47 unanimous decision win for Dominic Cruz. But then again, I didn't think Cejudo could beat Dillashaw. I didn't think Cejudo could beat Marlon Moraes, and I was wrong in both those occasions. So fuck me, I can't pick against him. Well, anyways, I'm gonna go with Dominic Cruz UD after 5 hard rounds with back and forth action. Um, but yeah, and the third title fight of the night, uh, the women's featherweight title, which is the GOAT, Amanda Nunes, versus Felicia Spencer, who has reinserted herself as the number one contender for the belt. In front of Megan Anderson after they both appeared on that same card. Felicia Spencer had an impressive outing last fight. Can't really remember who she fought. Destroyed that woman in, I believe, 2 rounds with vicious ground and pounds. But then again, it's Amanda Nunes. I mean, the last fight between Amanda Nunes and Jermaine Durandamy, we sort of saw the chinks in the armor, as you will, on the feet against an elite kickboxer. But Felicia Spencer is not that. It's gonna be another wash. I think it's gonna be another destruction. I don't think it's gonna be a. Uh, I don't think it's gonna be a vicious destruction, but a destruction nonetheless. I would say Amanda Nunes by third round TKO, ground and pound, retaining her featherweight title against Felicia Spencer. I really don't see where the featherweight division can go from here. I mean, the only person I can logically think about challenging for the title next is Megan Anderson, and that's going to be destruction too as well. But I guess stranger things have happened, so we shall see. So.